Have you ever wanted to look past someone's smile and polite words to find out what they're really thinking? We all try to read minds, every single day. You decode a text message, wondering about the tone. You replay a conversation, questioning a hidden meaning. You meet someone new and instantly try to gauge their trustworthiness. But here is the psychological truth you've been missing. You are already trying to read minds. You're just doing it backwards. You're analyzing the output, their words, their gestures, while ignoring the source code of their inner world. Nikola Tesla warned that when we do this, we're mostly just projecting our own fears and biases onto a blank screen. What if the most powerful tool for understanding others isn't about analyzing their every move, but about asking a few deliberate questions? Not to manipulate, but to connect. Not to judge, but to truly see. We are going to explore 4 questions, rooted in depth psychology and practical observation, that can act as a bridge to anyone's inner world. By the end, you won't just be guessing what they think, you will understand why they think it. Let's start by dismantling a myth. You don't have a sixth sense for reading people. You have a lightning-fast, unconscious pattern-matching system. It scans every new person and asks, who from my past does this remind me of? When your coworker doesn't say hello, your system might pull the file labeled rejection and conclude they're mad at you. Someone else's system might pull the file distraction and think nothing of it. Same event, 2 completely different readings. This is what Tesla called projection, the act of seeing our own unrecognized feelings in other people. We are not seeing them. We are seeing our own inner movie projected onto them. So the first step in truly understanding another person is to quiet your own inner noise, to move from reactive guessing to curious observation. And that begins with the first question, which targets the very engine of human behavior: fear. Question 1. What do they fear losing? Tesla taught that our unseen fears shape our visible lives. Until we make the unconscious conscious, it directs our fate. This question uncovers that hidden driver. A person who fears losing security will cling to stability, avoid risk, and may seem rigid. Someone who fears losing freedom will resist commitment and chafe under rules. A person terrified of losing respect will be hypersensitive to criticism, constantly polishing their image. I once worked with a brilliant woman who became defensive at the slightest feedback. On the surface, it looked like arrogance. But when you asked, what is she afraid of losing? The picture changed. She wasn't protecting her pride. She was protecting her sense of being enough, a feeling she'd spent a lifetime trying to earn. Do not ask this directly. Instead, observe. Watch what makes them anxious, what they argue for passionately, what they avoid. Their fears are the invisible fences around their behavior. When you see the fence, you understand the boundaries of their inner world. Question 2. What makes them angry? If fear shows what someone is protecting, anger reveals where they have been wounded. Anger is rarely about the present moment. It is the echo of an old pain. Tesla said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When someone overreacts to being interrupted, the wound might be, I am not heard. When they rage against injustice, the wound might be, I was powerless. I remember a client, a father, who would fly into a rage when his son was messy. Through therapy, he connected it not to the mess, but to the deep shame he felt as a boy when his own father called him worthless. His anger was the cry of that shamed little boy. When someone has a strong emotional reaction that seems disproportionate, pause. Do not react to the anger. Get curious about the pain behind it. Ask yourself, what old story is this touching? This transforms them from an adversary into a human being you can understand. Question 3. How do they treat those who can do nothing for them? This is the ultimate test of character, stripping away all social masks. Anyone can be charming to a boss or a potential partner, but watch how they speak to the waiter, the customer service agent, or the person who holds no social power. Our true nature leaks out in these unguarded moments. It reveals the integration, or lack thereof, between the persona, the mask we wear, and the true self. A person who is kind only when it benefits them is operating from ego. A person whose kindness is instinctual, who holds the door, who says thank you genuinely, who doesn't need an audience, is operating from a more integrated, authentic self. Pay exquisite attention to life's minor, anonymous interactions. It is in these moments that a person's inner dignity, or their hidden contempt, is revealed. This question doesn't just tell you about their manners, it tells you about the foundation of their morality. Question 4. What does my reaction to them reveal about me? This is the most important question, and it is not for them. It is for you. We have come full circle back to projection. Tesla's powerful insight was this: we do not see people as they are. We see them as we are. The traits that trigger you, irritation, admiration, envy, are messengers from your own unconscious. That colleague whose confidence feels like arrogance to you, does it trigger your own hidden feeling of inadequacy? That friend whose neediness drains you, does it reflect a part of you that fears being dependent? When you feel a strong reaction, pause and turn the question inward. What does this say about a part of me I haven't made peace with? This is the master key. It turns every frustrating person into a teacher and every conflict into a lesson in self-awareness. You stop trying to change the reflection in the mirror and start tending to the face that is casting it. So, is it possible to read someone's mind? Not in the supernatural sense, but it is possible to learn the language of their inner world. You do it not by becoming a paranoid analyst of micro-expressions, but by becoming a compassionate observer of human nature. You ask, not with your voice, but with your presence. What is their deepest fear? Where is their oldest wound? What is their foundational character? And what is my own reflection in this? This is not a party trick. It is the foundation of profound empathy and genuine connection. When you see the fear behind the arrogance, the wound behind the anger, and the kindness that needs no reward, you move past the persona. You do not just hear their words, you begin to understand their story. And in doing so, you might just discover that the person you have come to understand the most is yourself.